Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Let's get reacting to it. Manchester United won Nottingham Forest to one of the worst matches of football I've seen from a Manchester United team all season. Absolutely dull, uninspired. There was no intensity, there was no tempo, there was nothing in the play, there was nothing inspiring, there was nothing that makes it look like this team was going anywhere. A lot of people are going to put fingers towards the manager, a lot of people probably rightly so. I think it's getting completely undefendable. It really is. This is our 14th defeat of the season. We have played 20 league matches. We have won 10, drew 1 and lost 9. That is mid-table form. We are so inconsistent. We go from beating one of the better teams in the league across this last 12 months in Aston Villa the other night, and then we go out against Nottingham Forest. We look like we haven't played together. There was no cohesion up front. There was no ideas. There was no creativity. There was no belief. There was no anything, really. And even the goal we scored came from a mistake by their goalkeeper. It was a massively frustrating match. I think in terms of what the players did on the pitch, some really poor decision making out there at times going forward, some abysmal decision making defensively, and that for me is the absolute worst of it as well. Those goals scored by Forest were completely unavoidable. We easily could have dealt with both those goals, and they were the same goal twice. First goal, Dominguez scores completely unmarked inside the penalty box. Second goal, Morgan Gibbs-White scores completely unmarked just outside of the penalty box. So we basically considered the same goal twice. I mean, the second goal, Wan-Bissaka should have went with him. McTominay, I don't know where he was. I don't know why Ten Hag took off Kobbie Mainoo. I just don't get it. You're taking your defensive coverage off to put McTominay on. He did nothing in the entire match. Like, he literally offered nothing in that entire game. And it's just such a big frustration for me, guys. It is so... I don't know how many times we've lost the same match. We've lost the game the same way, conceding the same goals with the same issues, the same problems across the board. We've done it so many times, and it's just constant. We never ever seem to learn from our mistakes. We never seem to learn that we keep giving cutbacks away on the edge of the box. We keep never learning that we put when you take off all your defensive midfielders, you're gonna end up conceding goals. I don't know what we expected from the forward line. I think there was absolutely no reason why Antony should have been playing. Antony is an absolute disgrace. He really is. Amad Diallo showed more in about 30 minutes than Antony has done all season in any match. And there's just no call for it. There really isn't. Look, we can point fingers towards Rashford. Yes, he should have done better. He did score. We can ask why he was playing up front, but there was nothing else in terms of available options out there. There really wasn't. Jordy is saying, it's really disappointing result for you guys. Your defense inside the box is so bad. Lost of space inside the box. Stephanie says, simply not good enough. Players' attitude stinks. Why was McTominay coming on? For Mainoo, we lost the midfield with that one sub. Yeah, we did, absolutely. Jeremy says, please tell me Mainoo was injured. I don't think he was. Sky said on the coverage that it was a tactical choice. We took off the only guy doing any work in the actual midfield in terms of defensive work to put McTominay on to maybe score a goal. I don't know how many times we've had to say this, guys. I don't know how many times we've said that it's not worth sacrificing your entire midfield just to have the promise of scoring a goal from Scott McTominay. It's just not worth it. And life would be so much easier for Erik Ten Hag and for what we were trying to say if McTominay wasn't scoring goals. If he was not playing well, or if he hadn't been contributing, then life would be a lot easier because he wouldn't play, because he literally offers nothing. It's just a team of Muppets out there. It's just it's just such a frustration. Amad Diallo probably should have been playing ahead of Antony throughout that match. I don't think anyone really wants to see Antony on the pitch for United again, but we'll see it again. And my big problem with Ten Hag, this is one of the big issues I've had with the guy all season long, is his blind loyalty to some of the worst players on the team, in the squad, who never show up, and who, when they do show up and do play, it tends to cost us as well. Why is Antony playing? Why is McTominay playing? Why are we taking Mainoo off to put McTominay on the pitch? Why are we sitting needing a goal, and the only subs we can make is to take Wan-Bissaka off and to put Reguilon on. Hashley is saying Anthony is Ten Hag's hidden son. That might be it. I don't know. I mean, it's just such a frustration, guys. It really is, because I've seen more from Ahmad in 30 minutes than I did from Anthony in 60 minutes today and all season long. Anthony has played, I don't know, probably like 22, 23 matches, no goals, no assists. I don't think he's actually had a goal or an assist in close to 30 matches. Like, why are we sticking with this guy? He is comfortably one of the worst players at the club in terms of his output. Easily up there. I think Garnacho was frustrating today. I think he had moments, but he was ultimately frustrating. It was just across the board. It was just so poor, guys. It really was. If you guys could, make sure to drop a like on the video. We're up to 9 likes. Let's see if we can get up to maybe 20 or 30 likes on this video as well. Would be massively appreciated. Yeah, look, guys, that was one of my worst watch-alongs that I've ever had to do on the channel in terms of the actual entertainment on it for myself and for you guys as well. I'm positive if I watch it back, there'll be long periods where I'm just sitting there just so bored. And Hashley says as well, how can you sub McTominay for Manu? Manu was the best player. Both goals conceded in Manu's zone. McTominay didn't cover the zone. Absolutely, he didn't. He didn't cover the zone. I think first goal, really big time McTominay's fault. Second goal, he should have been in that zone regardless. I think Wan-Bissaka made the wrong choice to go with the wide man, because I think Alanga was always cutting in, so he wasn't going to pick out a back post cross from the central area. He just wouldn't be able to pull that off on his left foot. He found Gibbs White very easily. Jeremy said, Manu had Gibbs White pocketed, comes off, Gibbs White scores, and our midfield disappears. Kids hit 10. Yeah, I mean, that's the top and bottom of it. Like, it really is. Thanks very much, guys, for 10 likes. Let's see if we can drive that up as well, because look, it's been another horror show from this team today. It's been another drab, dull, uninspiring performance where we make nothing going forward. We got the goal from a goalkeeping mistake, and that was it. Luton Town have scored more Premier League goals than us this season. This is the lowest points, the lowest goals, and the most defeats we've ever had at this point of a season in Premier League history. This team, this season, is going to go close to beating that Ralph Rangnick season for being our worst ever Premier League's point tally, and that we might end up beating it. We really might. Across the board, guys, just so poor at everything. Like, I don't know what we did good out there as well. Just shockingly bad. We can't. I just can't make excuses for it. Mo is saying as well, I had it with the manager. He was pushing very hard to play this £82 million flop. I would agree with that as well. I really would. I think we had a much better performance with Garnacho on the right-hand side against Aston Villa than what we ever would have if Anthony was there. I think in the last 30 minutes, we had a much better performance out of Amad Diallo than we ever would have got out of Anthony. And we've seen it midweek, the exact thing that we've been talking about for so long on this channel, that so many people have been talking about. It's Anthony being so one-footed that he's just not able to do anything else with the ball. He's just not able to do anything. We all seen the clips. Anthony, there was one of Ahmad and there was one of Anthony, and Ahmad took 2 touches. He set it round the defender and he scored the goal in the trailing clip. Anthony took 6 touches. He went one way. He had to cut back. He had to take another 3 touches, and eventually he gets the shot off. And that's what we've been questioning the whole time. For Anthony, he seems like a system player in a system that doesn't exist. So what's the point of having him? What's the point of playing him? We signed this guy for £82 million to play in a certain way, and we don't play that way. So I'm really baffled with it at times out there. Ronnie says there's at least 7 players that are not worthy of wearing the Manchester United top out there today. I would say more, Ronnie, honestly. Really, if you look at that team, I think Wan-Bissaka was poor today. I think Varane and Evans were not solid as they typically are today. I think Dalot was very wasteful in possession. I think Manu was probably our best player, and we took him off. Eriksen was poor. Bruno was anonymous. The forward line was abysmal. Nothing. I mean, Rashford got the goal out of the goalkeeping mistake. Anthony, he's just so poor every match, and I just don't know what we see with this guy. I really don't. Like, there's nothing in any of his performances whatsoever that warrant him playing. Like, he's not scoring, he's not assisting, he hasn't got a goal or an assist in something like 25, 26, 27 matches at this point. It might even be 30. He might not have a goal or an assist in 30 minutes. And this is kind of like the level that we're talking about with this guy. And for me, it's a big frustration. It's so hard to go out there and sit and watch this match. I mean, fair play to the away end. Really fair play to them. Because they didn't stop the entire match, and they sat and travelled the whole way down there, an expensive day, I'm sure, to get to Nottingham so close to New Year's, and that's what they get in return. It's just embarrassing, like, it really is. Jeremy says Anthony is the flamingo and convinced he doesn't even have a right leg. He might not. It might be, I don't know, maybe he's just not even a real footballer. Like, seriously, I think. Look, I was on United Agenda the other night, and I said to those guys as well, out of all the Anthonys we could have sold, I think we sold the best one. We could have sold Martial, we could have sold Anthony himself, but we sold Elanga, and Elanga was probably had a better match and a better season than Martial and Anthony combined. I mean, I really don't know, guys. It's just such a frustration to me. Like, Luton Town scoring more goals than us after 20 matches in the Premier League. I really don't know what we're doing, why we do this every single time. Here's the stat as well. Look, I'm sorry, I don't want to dig out Anthony in particular because he wasn't the only bad performer out there. But when I see stats like Anthony ends the year 2023 with 1 Premier League goal in 34 matches. 1 Premier League goal in 34 matches for Anthony, and that's the level of this guy. It's no wonder we can't get anything going forward. No wonder whatsoever we can't get anything going forward, and it's just such a frustration. It is so hard to watch that every single time, and I really don't know why Ten Hag continues to go with Anthony and continues to pick him. And I would have a lot more respect for Ten Hag, and I think we'll get on to the manager in just a minute, but one of the biggest things that he's done so many times this season is blindly stick by players who are not playing well, who are just not doing it. And I think every week he's probably losing more and more of the fan base. And I mean, I have stuck up for the guy. I really have. I have always tried to support the manager because I don't think just sacking a manager gets us what we want. I don't think just sacking a manager brings us where we want to be. And I think the issues are a lot bigger and a lot deeper at this club than just the manager. But, I mean, even I have to admit, at some point, it's just not good enough. It's really not good enough. And it hasn't been for a very long time. Carpi says, the biggest thing that baffles me is rejecting 30 million for McTominay when we wanted to sell him, and he's not worth 30 million pounds. He's probably not. He's probably not. I think we probably should have sold him at the time. We could have done with that FFP money and got some other players in across the summer, because selling youth players is one of the best ways to raise your fair play budget and how much money you actually can spend, because they're deemed on the books to be free players, so it's completely all profit. That doesn't make sense to me either. Ronnie says, we have to be honest, we're a mid-table team this season, and we will be the same next season if we do not bring in 6 or 7 players in the summer and kick out the deadwood. I would agree with that, Ronnie. I think Dave Brailsford, who has been sitting out the matches this last couple of games, he's going to have a hell of a job in his hands. Those guys who are going to come in from Ineos, the Blancs, the Mitchells, the Ashworths, the Friedmans, whoever it's going to be, they've got one hell of a job on it, and they've got a big call to make on the manager as well. John is down there as well. John Riddler is it? Says Manchester United are finished. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that in current assessment either. It really is. I think there's ways back for this team. There's just so little quality. There's so little belief out there. There's so little that we actually can see from this team that we can say is really going to turn it around this season. I mean, you can't tell me in the next match it might well be Rasmus Højlund still out of the team. We might go to Wigan Athletic, and we might end up losing in the FA Cup. And then what does that mean for the season either? I mean, we're looking probably at trying to play Garnacho and Anthony and Rashford until Hoyland comes back. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. Carpy says you think McTominay will get sold in the summer, and Martial has been ill for 3 weeks. Something going on that doesn't add up. No, all these players getting ill does not add up. It really doesn't, Carpy. When you what if Anthony Martial has been ill for 3 weeks, that he isn't even able to turn up to training, then he's probably seriously ill at that point. So it doesn't add up. It does not add up. Jonathan Kennedy says, if you thought United were not a relegation side, think again. I don't think we're a relegation side. I think 30 points probably keeps us up, but it's just depressing at this point, guys. And I think really we are maybe, but by the end of the weekend, we can be down to 9th place. It could be us in 9th and Chelsea in 10th, and that can be how bad we've been. Newcastle and Brighton still to play tomorrow, of course. So we could end up even lower down that league table. We are 9 points off. 9 points off the top 4 at this moment in time. It's just not been good enough across the campaign from us. And it's so inconsistent. We have 10 wins, 1 draw, 9 losses. That's not what we're. That's not Manchester United's level. And look, people say we had a good season last year when we finished 3rd. We did. But no matter how big of a fan you are of Eric Ten Hag, no matter how big a fan you are of Manchester United, one thing cannot be put into doubt. One thing cannot be questioned, and that is that we have took a massive step backwards this season. We are going backwards. We are regression. We are getting worse instead of getting better, and that's undeniable. It's irrefutable. Nobody can deny that. We are getting worse instead of getting better, and that's such a concern because I can't see where the answers are going to come from. I really can't. We're talking midweek with Ten Hag saying whenever we get Martinez back and Casemiro back and Mason Mount back in January, they'll be like new signings, but season might be done by then. They really might be. And what are we going to get from those players that we didn't already get to them when they were fit this season? What are we going to get in? Where are we going to get the goals from? With Casemiro and Lisandro Martinez, we are not. We can't create chances. We can't control matches. We can't stop conceding goals. Luton Town have scored more goals than us this season in the Premier League after 20 matches. Luton Town, a team whose entire squad was probably assembled for 10 or 15 million pounds. Like this is genuine. It's genuinely insane at this point, guys. It really is. Jeremy says I feel ill too if I fleece United for that money. I don't think those guys would care about that. I really don't. Carpy says I would keep Ten Hag and build around him if he can replace him and still have the same problems with the players. You're not good enough, and that's the problem. Yeah, look, I would agree with that as well. It's kind of like, what do we do? If we sack Ten Hag, what options do we have? We've got Graham Potter. That's not going to be the answer. You've got Hansi Flick. I mean, I can't see him coming. Do you wait until after the Euros to get Nagelsmann? I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't know where we're going to be looking for. Mancunian says, absolutely shit, I'm not surprised. I think that's the worst thing. Like, I really do. It didn't come as a surprise to them. We've seen this exact performance and exact result so many times this season, and we've conceded those cutback goals so many times already this season. It's clearly never going to get fixed. Cass says, Ten Hag has given the most beautiful Christmas gift to Man United fans. He's probably given the most beautiful gift to Nottingham Forest fans. Look, those guys have gone and beat Newcastle and they beat us in the same week. They're probably going to stay up now already. So that's that. Ronnie says, I hope Newcastle win on Monday night. I mean, they could do. I'm not too sure who they're playing, but nothing would surprise me at this point. Guys, make sure you're dropping a like on the video as well. If you guys can, please consider hitting that sub button as well. I mean, we're suffering today. We've suffered through a watch along. We're really close to 2,100 subscribers as well. Only need 9 people to hit that sub button. Would be massively appreciated. Okay, who wants to see some of the post-match comments from Eric Ten Hag? Because I haven't read them, but I believe that it's probably going to be the usual from Ten Hag here. That's what I'm predicting here. Ten Ten Hag says the result is disappointing. You're losing 1-0 and you get a comeback. And in that moment, we were good in the game. We were waiting for 2-1, and the counter moment we give a goal away. This loss was unnecessary. He says the first half performance was okay. We invested to do less in the final third. I think we should have created more. I mean, it was just objectively crap. There's no other way to spin it. We can't say it was a good first half performance. We had one shot on target. We had one shot in the first half, and it was Wan-Bissaka from about 30 yards out, and it trickled so slowly towards the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper could have sat down, had a cup of tea, had a coffee, and still had time to catch the ball. I mean, we can't be saying that's an okay first half. You cannot be saying that just because we're not losing the match. Christian Eriksen has also been speaking, and Eriksen says he thinks things can get better. I just don't know. He believes they're going to get better. I just don't know where it's going to come from. I just don't know where it's going to come from. Ten Hag took Manu off. He took probably our best player off in that match to put McTominay on again, and it's just, McTominay obsession is just killing this guy's career at the minute. It really is. Paul says Ten Hag, time for him to go. Worst record since 1930. Yeah, it is. It's the worst record in what's that there, like 93 years. I mein, it's just so embarrassing. Paul says, my mum asked me if McTominay is a runway model. I don't know how to answer. Maybe he'd be more successful there. Uzi is saying Ten Hag has to go. It's as simple as that. He's bang on average as a manager. Gani said whoever thinks the manager is not the problem needs to get their footballing mind checked. Wasted signings, no style of play. Many games looks like the players look like strangers every match. Yeah, they do. Fearless says, do you think Palace is a Europa League team? And be deadly honest, Crystal Palace, I think there's probably too much competition for them at the minute. I think they've got some really good players. If they can hold on to Eze and Elise in particular, maybe that's something they can build towards. But I don't know. It all depends on that, really. Carpi is speaking again. Carpi says, how can you play players unwanted? Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Look, Ten Hag's job for a lot of this season might have been saved by players that we didn't want. McTominay scoring some goals to keep him alive at times. Maguire getting involved as well. With some big performances. But really, so much of this is Ten Hag's own making. And it's so hard to defend him. And I'm very against just sacking a manager because I'm looking at the big picture. I'm saying, what is there in this squad? What would Pep Guardiola get out of this squad? What would Jurgen Klopp get out of this squad? Probably not a lot. But at the same time, he's not making things easy on himself as well. And some of his decisions are baffling when he's taking Mane off, who was our best player in that first half, to go put Scott McTominay on. That doesn't make sense to me. When he's looking at the other options that he's got, and he thinks to bring Reguilon on and change a left back for a right back. And I mean, he's got Amad Diallo on the bench, who in 30 minutes did more than Anthony's done all season. Issy says Ten Hag go-to players McTominay. It seemingly is. Carpi says, how can you play someone you wanted out last summer? May as well play Van de Beek. I mean, we might as well. Ronnie says, Liverpool playing Newcastle on Monday night. Did it? If so, that'd be an interesting match, for sure. I don't know if we're going to get away with losing this match today, but I mean, we could find ourselves in 9th position by the end of this week, this game week. And that for me is just completely unacceptable. We just can't be doing it. United need to clean up, starting with Ten Hag, then the players, says Navpo as well. It's hard to disagree with that as well, guys. Make sure you're dropping a like as well. If you guys are new, please consider hitting that sub button as well. We're getting really close to 2,100. That was the end of your goal. We only need 7 more as well, so that would be a lovely way to start the new year. Uzi says Ten Hag's go-to players McTominay, then the team is Deadwood. Stephanie is in the comments as well. Carpi says, ever since I joined these chats, never seen United fans so negative. And not to say the bigger pictures aren't good enough. Stop blaming the manager. There isn't anyone that will change things. Yes and no. Yes and no. That's my opinion. I think it's like I said it a minute ago. I don't think Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or anybody gets a lot out of this team. I don't think Ten Hag is that bad that he's holding a team that could go on and win the Premier League back, and he's making them a 9th, 10th place team, a mid-table team. I don't think he's doing that. I don't think he's that bad. But on the same hand, I would also say some of his in-game decisions and the players he's turning to are really worrying. And he's abandoned his style of play. He's abandoned those tactics that he's been building this team towards. And that doesn't make sense to me either. So, Ten Hag, I don't think you can blame Ten Hag solely. I don't think you can blame the players solely. I don't think you can blame the club solely as well. I think everybody is accountable in this, and everybody's got to be doing better as well. Stephanie says 58 people watching, only 15 likes. Yeah, guys, if we can get some more likes and some more subs, would be really appreciated. 2,100 was the end of your goal. We're 7 away from that. Can we get it tonight? That would be really, really appreciated, guys. Ten Hag doesn't know what he's coaching. Can you open midfield and fullbacks to move front? Worst joke. Tuna is saying as well, Ramin 10 he sounds like 10th. Eric 10th place. I hope not. I really hope it's not 10th place today as well. Carpy said Ten Hag isn't that bad. He played the best football in Europe under Ajax. Sometimes his decisions with subs are bad, but who can he turn to with the injuries? Yeah, look, there was a lot of criticism of him playing Rashford through the middle. I'm looking at it saying there's no other striker fit that we could have picked. So that's very true. But I'm also looking at it saying you didn't have to take Manu off to put McTominay on. You didn't have to put Anthony in that team. You could have went for Ahmad, or you could have put Pellistri on. They are all in better form this season than Anthony is as well. So I think he's got issues himself, Ten Hag. I think there's tactics. The tactics are the big one as well. And I would question what we're doing off the pitch, especially during those training sessions and stuff. How many times have we conceded the same goal? That's my big question. How many times per game do we give them free cutbacks? And that's in the match. That's probably players' fault, but Ten Hag's got to be highlighting that. He's got to be saying, look, go with the runners. You have to pick up these runners because they're getting cutbacks every time and they're getting goals, and we're conceding goals so regularly because of it. Danny says you can stick with a manager when there's signs of progress. Most United fans have forgotten how big we are and ready to settle for average. I don't know if it's fans settling for average. I think we're looking at available managers as well, and we're looking. Does anyone really think Graham Potter is the guy to turn it around? Does anyone really truly believe that if we bring in Hansi Flick, that's going to turn things around, or going for Ruben Amorim? I don't know. I don't know. I think you're looking at it now with the point of view that you have something we haven't had forever, and that's genuine change in ownership as well. I think as a collective it's not good enough, and I can see Stephanie's talking about the collective down there. Blame the collective. We're not united as a team. Need real winners returning. Yeah, I would agree with that, Stephanie. I think the lack of leadership from so long at the top of the club, from the owners, from the executives, the CEOs, directors of football, has kind of created this scenario and this environment for this sort of bad performance and no accountability to thrive. I think Ten Hag's got to do better on a match-by-match basis. I think he's got to do more with what he's got, and I think he's got to be coaching this team better. And I think those players have to take a lot more accountability. There'll be a lot of players in that dressing room who've been through this before. A lot of them will be believing this, and they will be saying the same things that they've probably told themselves before. It's okay. The manager will get sacked. We'll survive. We'll go out and play well for the next manager for the season. We'll keep our places secured, and then they'll get sacked. Stephanie's very spot on with that as well. Danny says if you buy milk and find out it's off, do you keep drinking it? Get Laurent Blanc in. I don't know if Laurent Blanc's the answer. I don't know what the answer is going to be. I really don't. 18's asking why he's so angry, Ronnie. And Carpy says with Radcliffe and Zard, the reality is Potter would be the next manager. He loves Potter, so it's either Potter or Ten Hag out. It's not a hard choice. I don't know if either of those are the guys who need to as well. I really don't know. I don't know if the perfect manager exists. I think that's a good position to start with. I don't think there is a perfect manager out there. I think there's different managers with different ideas, with different systems. It's going to be about what the Ineos crowd want to do. It's going to be about what the director of football and all those sporting appointments that will be coming in very soon are going to decide what the style of play is going to be, what manager is going to suit that best, what players to sign, how do we move towards that, how do we change the manager if needs be and ensure the stability of the club, how do we avoid doing rebuilds every 2 or 3 years, how do we get away from all that. So these are all big decisions that we do have to make, and they will be coming at some point. Make no mistake about it. Look, guys, we're up to 16 likes. There's 17 now as well. I think, there's 50 people in here, guys. Can we get up to 30 likes, maybe? And some more a couple more subs as well would be massively appreciated. As I said, only need 5 more subs to get to our end of year goal of 2,100. That could be 2,000 subs in 1 year, which is just absolutely incredible as well. Support on this channel, really appreciate everything you guys are doing as well. So thanks so much for all that. Look, guys, maybe I'll run a poll in the comments here. Let me just quickly get this in. I'll do a quick poll for you guys. I'll do a quick poll here just to gauge the opinion on the manager after seeing everything we've been saying there. If you guys want to vote away on that poll, it's Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. Let me know your thoughts on that there one. Get voting on that there poll down below. I'll get some more of these post-match quotes. Hakeem says to go to Onana. I don't think Onana covered himself in glory either with that second goal. I think maybe he could have got better and could have got closer to it. Ten Hag says the players are not happy. We have to do better. But it's concerning. I think it's insulting as well. When I see the manager saying the first half performance was okay and we've had one shot and that one shot was on target, that's just not acceptable either, guys. It's really not. And it's kind of insulting as well to our intelligence. I mean, we all sat and watched the same match. We all seen the same match. I just don't know what to make of it. I really don't. And I don't know where we go from here. Ryan says McTominay out, Anthony out, Eriksen out. I think those are the subs. Those are the players you maybe look at dropping. Who we put in for Eriksen, I'm not too sure. I think McTominay, we can just leave him on the bench. I think you've got a clear alternative now to Anthony. You have a left-footed right winger in Ahmad, and that's what Ten Hag's been asking for. That's what he's been looking for, that kind of balance. You have it there, so he has to go and use it. He has to go and play Amad Diallo now, who showed more in that first 30 minutes he was on the pitch than Anthony did in the all season long, let's say. Let's just put it, let's just leave it at that point. And yeah, look, I think what happens with Eriksen's a questionable one. Where do we turn to there? Do we look to try and get Mount into the team since we were so obsessed with buying him in the first place? Do we go back to Casemiro and play Casemiro, Manu, and Bruno? What's the answers there? Hakeem says Onana's controller gets disconnected when he has to make a save. Bro becomes an NPC. I wouldn't quite put it that there far, because I think he's made some important saves across the season, but not a lot. I think I've been a little bit disappointed with him as well. Stephanie says Ahmad for Anthony, definitely. Yeah, look, I think we just got to do something different as well, and that's what we really got to do. Ryan would like to see Hannibal get some chances, and Dan Gore. They will fight for the ball. Yeah, I mean, Dan Gore you could put in there, and I think Dan Gore would excel in that Christian Eriksen role that we've been seeing him in. If Ten Hag had a time machine, he would forgive De Gea signing a new contract instead of buying Onana. I don't know what Ten Hag would do if he had a time machine. He might go back and just never take the United job and stay at Ajax. Carpy says, I'm at his class. Only have to see what he did at Sunderland. Deserves his chance. He does. He really, really does. I think he deserves an opportunity. The reason why I say he deserves an opportunity is in pre-season he played a lot. He played a lot in pre-season. He had a lot of appearances. He seemingly, like Manu, before those injuries, was going to be something big in this team, was going to be a player called upon, a player needed, a player that the manager was going to use throughout the season. Carpy says AFCON can be a blessing for Bayern Dare to make a claim for #1 spot. He cannot be any worse. No, he probably can't. I don't know how long we're going to lose Onana for. It might be just for January, or Cameroon might go the entire way. It's difficult to say ahead of time, because he could just miss Wigan and Tottenham Hotspur in January, or he could end up missing most of the February matches too. Look, guys, make sure you're dropping a like as well. Make sure you guys are hitting the sub button as well. Really, really, really helps the channel as well. Let me just double check one or two little details here as well, guys. Garnacho Stan says like and sub as well, much appreciated. But yeah, look, I think that quote coming in from Ten Hag is a little bit insulting as well. Ten Hag on 14 defeats in 28 matches this season. He says because of injuries, we've had some issues, but mainly injuries that have held us back. In January, a lot of players will return. I don't know if we're holding out too much hope on these January returns. I really don't know. And the reason why I say that is because whenever we look at what Casemiro was playing like before, what Mount was playing like before, what Martinez was playing before, do they make as massive a difference? I think a fit Martinez maybe does, but I really don't know. I really don't know at this point, guys. I think we are up to 17 likes, guys. Can we get up to what, like 30? Let's see if we can get up to 30 likes as well. And maybe, what do we need as well? We need 2 subs as well to hit the end of your goal of 2,100, guys. So if we can hit that, that would be so appreciated. Really would mean a lot. Stephanie says thoughts on Bruno's captaincy. I think, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's been the same guy he was last season. I really don't. I don't see him driving us forward. I don't see him creating a lot of opportunities out there or doing what he was doing before for us. I think he's struggling as the rest of the team is struggling. I think that's to be expected, but I don't know. I was on the United agenda the other night. We were having the same conversation. I think we both agreed, me and the guys on that channel, of course, that maybe a future captain could be like a Martinez or someone, but I think maybe it's too premature to take it off Bruno. I think it's maybe going to destabilize the dressing room again. Maybe it's not something we need at this moment in time. Certainly not mid-season. Maybe a decision can be made at the end of the year. Let me see. Hakeem says, Anthony, another goat of the team. Carpy says, when they return, the results will stay the same. Let's see his excuses. Shaw is back and out again. It's ridiculous. Ryan says, need to decide on his style. No idea what his build-up is supposed to be, but it's slow and static. A far cry from the total football at Ajax. I would agree with that as well. I would definitely agree with that. I think whilst he says we're not going to play the same football as Ajax and it won't be identical, I think you have to see common themes and common principles, because if you look at Klopp's Dortmund team compared to Klopp's Liverpool team, yes, there's a lot of differences. There is differences. The Dortmund team was built much more around a central striking figure. Obviously, Liverpool is more inverted wingers. It's more of a 4-2-3-1. Pep's Bayern Munich and Barcelona teams are different to Man City and what he has going on there. But there's common themes, there's principles and stuff that they do maintain and they do keep and they do bring from club to club. And Ten Hag hasn't done that really at all. It's difficult to see the progression. It is. And I want to say we've seen it. We've seen it maybe in glimpses. I think we have moments where it looks like, yeah, look, that there might be it. But every time we've done it, it kind of feels like it's been more accidental. It kind of feels like it's been something we stumbled upon rather than something that we have that we have found for ourselves, or some kind of revelation, that we've come to some sort of eureka moment where everything's just clicked and lined up. Carpe is saying Bruno's hardly ever injured, should be the captain. That's probably one of the reasons why he does. Try the stats, say that. No one deserves it as they're lazy. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to disagree as well. Luman says, sorry, United aren't a disgrace. Ten Hag is. We're losing because of Ten Hag. I think individual performances as well, Luman, haven't been good enough. I can't just blame it down to a lack of coaching whenever I'm seeing McTominay not picking up markers, or I'm seeing Wan-Bissaka abandoning markers, or questionable moments between Varane and Johnny Evans, who are very experienced players who shouldn't need a lot of coaches' instructions to know what they're meant to be doing on the pitch at a certain time. So I think there's definitely pros and cons. I think definitely, look, there's issues across the board. It's not just the managers, it's not just the players. Both have got to improve. They really do. Carpy says he isn't the problem, it's the players. Hakeem says petition to sign Giroud as the first goalkeeper instead of Onana. I mean, maybe we sign Giroud and put him up front. I don't know if that's the answer as well. Stephanie says we're up to 22 likes as well, guys. Much appreciated, all the likes so far. If you guys could as well, make sure you're hitting that sub button. We are 1 sub away from the end of your goal, and that could be, well, I mean, the growth in the channel is just like outstanding. It really, really is. I mean, we went from 100 subs on the 1st of January last year to almost 2,100 this year. Let's see if we can hit that there one, guys. One more person hit that sub button would be absolutely massive. And then who knows what 2024 is going to bring. Hopefully a better year for the channel, a better year for United as well. But yeah, we're close. We just need one more sub as well. So thanks so much for all the support in that there one, guys. Let me have a look at that poll, see how it's going. 37 votes, 54% are Ten Hag in at the minute, 46 are Ten Hag out. Very divided vote. Very divided. I thought it could be a lot more balanced towards people saying out, and I think maybe we're looking at it kind of in a in a way where we're saying what's the options out there, what's the plan out there, where we're going to improve upon it as well. It's not always, it's not like there's a world class manager completely available right now who we could go and get. I think that's coming into people's thinking as well. Liman says Ten Hag is not the problem. Ten Hag isn't the problem. Okay, fine. Tell me what's the point of removing a CDM from McTominay at halftime? I can't. That's a baffling decision made by the manager. That is a baffling decision that only he can explain. That only he knew why he did that. He took off our defensive cover to put on Scott McTominay. We just have a reliance on McTominay every time we need a goal or something. We just throw him on and hope for the best. Limon says every match he does blunders, but still we're only blaming the players. I think I'm blaming both, man. I think it's a collective. I think it's manager. I think it's players. I think it's the culture at this club. It's top to bottom. It's not just the manager. The manager is not the one making these players not pick up runners. He's not the one who's the fault for Anthony being crap. Arguably, Anthony shouldn't be on the pitch. Not is the manager's fault, but whenever they're out there on the pitch, it's also up to them to put the performance in. It's also up to them to put the levels out there that they need to. So I think you can say both are. Carpy says, who said Manu wasn't injured? McTominay wasn't good enough, regardless if he's on or not. It's his fault for both goals. Why play Onana when he's been a fault for 85% of the goals this season? I mean, look, these are all questions for the manager. You know, they really are. I think Manu went off for tactical reasons. That's what they said during the broadcast on Sky Sports. So that's what I'm going with at the minute, because I haven't seen anything about Manu being injured officially. Dennis says, who comes in for Ten Hag? For the life of me, I cannot see who. It's sad, really. Yeah, see, that's my big thing. Is Graham Potter going to be that guy? Is Hansi Flick going to be that guy? Antonio Conte? Like, are these guys who are going to turn it around? Are these the guys who are going to make it be the guy to bring this club back to what it's meant to be with the Ineos help and support and backing? I don't know. I can't comfortably say that because I just don't believe it either. Rand Small says as well, have to remember the injuries, but the signings have been very hit and miss. I hope Ineos involvement can improve the recruitment. Yeah, look, recruitment's been abysmal. I've said this about Ten Hag for a while. I think, look, if the players he bought were playing really well and it was a case that the other players who are still here were the ones struggling, then I think you can say, yeah, do you know what, let's give him more time. But I think recruitment's been really bad. Stephanie says today's game would have been perfect for Højlund. He probably would have had a good match out there. And I worry now, because picking up that goal at Old Trafford, you've seen how much it meant to him. Is he going to have that momentum? Is he going to have that confidence still? I hope he does. Dennis says Ineos won't change all that much. Will they never sponsor a real rebuild, or will just quicker wins like new management? I think they're going to go for a real rebuild. It might not be an immediate one that brings fantastic success, but I think it'll be a long-term project. I said this a while. Look, this team's got two ways it can go. We cannot attract the best players in world football. And we cannot attract players in their prime. So that's going to be players from maybe like 26, 27, 28, 29. So you can either buy old players and they're going to start at a higher level and go down, or you can buy younger players who are going to start at a lower level and go up. And that's what I think we got to do. Go for the long-term one. You can't rebuild a team around Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. They're just too old for it. You know, they're not going to be here when this team comes to fruition. Limon says we just need an intermediate manager for a few months before the new owner is settled. I don't know. Is the season done? Is it over? I don't know. What have I got? I don't want to be like you. I want to talk like you. Oh, I mean, Chelsea can get out of here today, man. Like, Chelsea spent what, £1 billion to go from 10th to 10th. I mean, I'm not gonna entertain that. 18 says Cheatski. Limon as well. 10 I got now. Go maybe, I don't know. It's just a frustration top to bottom, guys. Really is. I can say that we've hit the goal of 2,100 subs as well, so thanks so much for that, guys. That was the end of your goal, so really is fantastic to reach that as well. If everybody else can drop a like and hit the sub button as well, would be so appreciated. And let's hope that we have a better 2024. Look, I'll have a check here to see what everyone's saying as well, if there's any further quotes are coming out, but I think it's just hard to really to build it up and protect what we're seeing at the minute as well. 22 goals this season. It's the 18th worst in the league. XG performance is 19th, the worst shot conversion in the league, the worst first half goals in the league. It's just not good enough. Ten Hag's got to. I think he's going to have to audition for his job again with Ineos. I would expect that to come at some point. And I think that will be a realistic scenario that will happen. That he will have to re-audition for his job. Dennis said, one thing I love about Ten Hag is he's pro-youth, he's willing to gamble. He is. I think he should have kept Manu on. That would have been my big thing. Keep Kobe Manu on. We might have got a better second half performance. I think you got to play Ahmad. I think Ahmad has to play now over... has to play over Anthony. That has to be the big thing. 18 says, good job. Thanks very much, man. Much appreciated. Look, guys, I think we're going to leave the stream here. So if you guys can hit the sub button, it would be really appreciated. Let's start 2024 off with a bang. Anyway, look, I guess I'm possibly going to be live tomorrow as well, guys. I will do it for live. It might be around this time tomorrow as well. So maybe like 7 o'clock tomorrow time. Bring your special. We'll review the year and the highs, the mini lows, and we'll see where we are going into next season as well and next year. So guys, thanks so much for that. Make sure to drop a like and hit the sub button if you haven't already. Thanks so much for all the support, guys, and hopefully the next match can be a much better result, a much better performance for you guys. Much appreciated, guys.